Some people change their identities. Chapter 1. Change your identity, get a new name. How to change your identity. I'm just the messenger. You take your own risks for using this information. There are legal consequences if you get caught doing illegal things. I throw out the ideas, exercising my right to free speech. If you're in deep debt, owe the tax man more than enough, owe a large divorce settlement plus alimony and child support or extorted money at work and feel there's no way out, a way to handle it is to assume a new identity. You can go on the hidden internet, which you get on by downloading a special browser called Tor. Then once you're there, you can buy fake IDs from new vendors that have taken over from Silkrod and Alphabet, but some are scams. Send money, get nothing back. An easy way is to steal the IDs off a brother, relative, friend or stranger. Some people find homeless people and offer them money for their birth certificate and social security card. With that, get a photo ID from the state DMV. The paper trip is to find the identity of a dead baby through newspaper microfilm of some baby born around the same year as you but died. Birth on death records are generally not computer cross-referenced. You get the baby's info, get a birth certificate. The hard part is for an adult to get a new SSN. Some people say they lived on a farm, never needed an SSN before. Some people make one up. The company edenpress.com sells books about the paper trip. One con artist made up birth certificates for babies, then sent off for an SSN for them because you don't have to show up to the SSN office if you're under 1 year old. Then when he got the SSN, he created a birth certificate for an adult. A way for an American to assume new identity is to get a good desktop software program and create birth and driver's license identification for an obscure Canadian province like Prince Edward Island, or buy such ID rather easily on the internet. This works both ways. A Canadian can buy American ID and live in Canada posing as an American. If anybody asks what your business is, either say you're a student, writer, or you're building a software program for a new video game with some Canadian buddies. You'd better know the geography of the area where your driver's license is located to cover your tracks. For information about immigration, refer to another book. Although it's possible to fabricate an identity from scratch with a good computer, a scanner, a laser printer and maybe a color photocopy machine, and many people have done it successfully, it does take effort. In many cases, manufactured identities have lots of holes and may easily fail any investigation compared to a genuine identity issued by the government. This is why people who want to change their identity, do so by looking for a good one to assume. While it is important to build your documentation on a genuine identity, it is generally a mistake to assume the identity of another living person unless they're a hippie who has cut out of society, somebody blind or mentally retarded such that they don't do much and will probably never miss somebody else using their identity. Many small-time criminals have made this mistake and it has cost them a trip back to jail. They lift a guy's wallet or find some credit cards while engaged in a robbery and go on a coast-to-coast spending spree. Maybe they just use the guy's ID and don't try to spend his money, but what they seem to forget is someone out there has an interest in locating them and putting a halt to their charade, the guy whose identity they copped, and if the theft is reported, the police may be looking for someone using the victim's identity. The imposter's request for a copy of his birth certificate will leave a paper trail that's easy enough to follow. A duplicate passport, if discovered, could lead to serious trouble. The truth is that less than 5% of Americans ever get a passport, so if you steal someone's ID, that person might never get a passport anyway. The birth certificate is the basic building block document. If you have a computer, a scanner, and a graphics software program, you can experiment with your own birth certificate to get rid of the text and replace it with a new name. However, the risk here is that it's not a registered birth, so if you get in deep trouble, you will be exposed. Mail-order birth certificates are illegal, but you can buy diploma-sized birth certificates, feed them into a scanner, reduce them via a graphics software program, then mess with it to get it looking authentic. You should either buy a raised seal or get a rubber stamp seal for it. There is a law that states that any document that a private company sells with a name and date of birth on it must clearly state on the document itself that it's not a government document. You could use typing liquid eraser to get rid of this phrase, then photocopy the document. Some companies sell the document with a plastic seal on it which states that it is not a government document, so all you have to do is to remove the plastic seal and you've got a pretty good looking piece of ID. The best way to get an identity is to use one that no one needs anymore, the identity of someone that's died. One of the beautiful things about the United States is that there's very little correlation between birth and death records. The official papers on births and deaths are kept in the smallest political subdivisions, such as towns, cities, and counties. There is no central federal agency that keeps tabs on all this information, and the rules and regulations on recording births and deaths differ from state to state. Because a great many people die without enough documentation on them to establish their place of birth, there are a huge number of identities that can be appropriated simply by finding their birthplace and getting a copy of their birth certificate. Chances are that you will be able and willing to do a more thorough job of researching the deceased's identity than the bureaucrats who handled the official paperwork when he died. If someone was born in one place and dies in another state, chances are that the death won't be recorded where the birth was recorded, so that Vital Statistics Office doesn't know the person is dead, so there should be no problem getting a birth certificate provided you have all the details they need. Get the official birth certificate of a dead person from the County Vital Records Building. Find a dead person's vital statistics through newspapers, the local newspaper's microfilm office, the local library, the local archives, the internet, obituaries, death records, headstones in graveyards, or someone you knew who died. Although there's a lot of hype about cross-referencing birth and death records, the bureaucracy is a jumbled mess. Birth and death records are stored separately, so, for the most part, they are kept separate. Even though some counties in California have tried cross-referencing, i.e., Los Angeles, San Francisco, they can only register those deaths that occur in their county, but many deaths happen out of county so are never recorded in the county courthouse. For a cross-referenced birth-death certificate, all that would happen when you applied for the birth certificate, through the mail, is that you'd get it with the word deceased stamped over it. The cost to computerize and cross-reference these massive files would be a lot of money for such a trivial thing in the grand scheme of things, so it just don't a priority. Clerks would have to spend thousands of hours going back to when they started taking records. To play it safe in case they might be cross-referenced, simply do all your correspondence by mail. The way you proceed is to go to any library, either to the current newspapers or microfilm room, look through the obituaries to either find someone who was born around the same time as you and died in childhood, or someone who died recently who is about the same age as you. The older the person was when he died, the greater the possibility of hassles later because he left baggage behind, possibly bad credit, criminal record, could have gotten a passport, etc. So the younger the dead person, the better. Best of all is a baby born around the same time as you who died before they were 10 years old. Some babies are registered at birth then die 3 days later. Simply look up obituaries/death announcements in old newspapers. For safety's sake, you should go for newspapers that are a little bit away from where you live to do your correspondence by mail to avoid possible complications from nosy clerks who might wonder why you sent a letter, why didn't you come down in person? The obituary itself probably won't contain the birth date and place of birth, which is what you need to acquire a birth certificate from the county courthouse. You might also need the parents' names to get the birth certificate. If you have a name and a birth date, you might be able to find the parents' name and social security number on the internet.